Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we have another reaction video, but before we get started, welcome. If you're not subscribed, join the family. You guys, let's get started on today's story time.
Story time about how when I was in the 10th grade, I got locked up for attempt murder, first degree assault, second degree assault, and a whole rank of other charges. So I'm from West Baltimore. If you know me, you know growing up I always was fighting. Like females just didn't like me, or the people that I hung with was always in something, so I had to fight. Like I'm always fighting. Like it was just a real bad thing. So mother was like, well, your 9th grade year, you starting off fresh, you're going to a county school. So we live out Orange Mills, so the county school that I had to go to is Franklin High School. Again, I don't know nobody knows me, so it's a fresh start. Me, when I'm around people that I don't know, I'm around an environment that I'm just new to, I'm very quiet. I like to scope out stuff, just figure it out. So that's how I was for like the first month. I just was like to myself, just figuring stuff out. I might speak to people, they speak to me, whatever. I always gradually hung with boys though. Like that was like the people that I would hang with is boys, because me and females just never really got along. But ironically here, I met two friends. The girl name was Lachelle and the girl name was Alicia. Me and Alicia are very much still cool this day. They're still my friends to this day. Lachelle was not. Automatically, the first thing that I think about when I say Franklin, I was just like, I just didn't like it. The only thing that I liked about the school was that you got to wear regular clothes. Other than that, I hated it. Like it was so corny and lame. Like in the city, yeah, it was gangs in the city, but females just wasn't in it. This high school, it was like gangs everywhere. Bloods, Crips, Banana Clip, Purple City. It just was a mess. I hated it. So like I say, school year going on, and one day me, Alicia, Lachelle, and a couple of other people, the classes is switching, so we had a locker just talking, and this group, I'm gonna say the girl name was Bianca, I'm not gonna say her real name. Bianca, her family, like her nieces, her nephews, her brothers, her sisters, everybody was just in the school with her. And then on top of that, it was like her other homegirls or homeboys, they was all in this gang. I don't even remember what the gang was called. I just knew that it was always just them in that group. They just was always doing too much. They walked past one day, we at the locker, and Alicia is so little, so tiny, and she don't bother nobody. We at the locker, and Bianca comes walking past, and she just smacks Alicia books out her hand. Like, this not the first time she smacked people books out her hand, but this the first time she smacked Alicia books out her hand. So my mom just looking to see what Alicia gonna do, and Alicia just bends down and picks her book up. Me being me, I'm like, girl, you crazy as shit. Like, ain't nobody smacking nothing out my hand, and it ain't gonna be a problem. Bianca hears me saying this, so she turns around. She like, what was said? I'm like, you heard what I said? She like, it's a problem. I'm like, it ain't a problem because you didn't smack my books out of my hands. If you just smacked my books out of my hand, yeah, it would have been a problem. So it was an officer there. We called him Officer Squidward. He like, Miss Aiken, get the class. Like that de-escalated the situation. That was me and her first interaction. So the school year going on, and I'm talking about when I say they banking people, they just packing people out, bullying. This is a mess. And I remember me saying this very much so. Like, I remember saying, I'm not from here. I'm from the city. The moment somebody bank me, how deep it's going to be outside this school is going to be a problem. Remember I said that. So she would just like go around and just be like, well, I'm starting to hear people come back and telling me like, oh, she's saying she don't like you. She's saying you think you too tough. She's saying this, she's saying that. But it was like a whole bunch of he say, she say. She never was saying it to me. And when she saw me, it never gave that it was a problem. Or she never gave like she wanted beef. Me either, because I really never had no beef with her. So school year going on, I think it's like the middle of the school year. My mother like, you ready to transfer? You ready? Because we moving. You ready to go to Woodlawn? So this is my last week there. And a Friday, it was a football game. So I remember Alicia asking me like, are you gonna come to the football game with me? This gonna be the last time I'm probably gonna see you. So I'm like, I might. But then my mother like, it's Friday, you want to go in the city? Of course I'm gonna choose the city because I want to go there with my friends. So I'm outside one day and Alicia calls me screaming, crying. So I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on? She like, they just banked me. Who? Bianca and them. Why? Because she told me to get up and I didn't get up because she wanted my seat, so they just banked me. Long story short, Alicia, like her mother, gonna press charges or whatever. I never really heard from nobody. Me and Alicia probably text and stuff like that, but it was never nothing because I was going to Woodlawn. Woodlawn was a vibe. I had fun. I must say, one of the funnest high schools that I ever went to. So school year over, summertime is about to come to an end, and my mother like, we moving back out on Mills, so you'll be going back to Franklin in the beginning of the year. So I'm like, okay, this is my 10th grade year in Franklin. So the first person that I see when I enter the school building that first day of school is Bianca. She instantly like made a face like that, but she never said anything. I walks past her, she walks past me. I go to Alicia, I see it's LaShaw now, but she ain't really like, she ain't giving me the vibe that she used to give me when she see me. So I'm like, what's that about? Whatever. School year goes on. It's like Thanksgiving break. No, it is Raby Thanksgiving break. So we leave in the gym, and LaShaw calls me. Now, mind y'all, me and LaShaw really didn't talk that much that whole school year. Like, hi, bye, you good? Yeah. Or laugh and joke if we in the class with each other, but we never hung with each other like how we did my 9th grade year. Mind you, LaShaw lived right across the street from me at that. LaShaw calls me. She like, come here, Jazz. Let me holler at you real fast. I don't remember they was her exact words, but I do remember her saying, come here, Jazz. So I'm like, all right. I tell Alicia and them, like, they can just go ahead. I don't want them to be late for class. So they walks off. So LaShaw grabs me, but she got her arm around my shoulder, which was kind of weird. That should have been the first red flag. So I'm like, push the arm off me. I'm like, girl, you don't gotta get your arm around me. Like, don't try to sun me. So I'm like, go ahead and talk. But now we in the bathroom. The bathroom goes like this, and then it turns, but it got a wall right here, so you can't really see what's on this side when you're looking into the bathroom. So I never knew who was all in this bathroom. So now, mind y'all, we never had no real beef. Like, that's the part that's really still to this day, I'm like, all that was uncalled for, and it was very much so unnecessary. So I just never understood why what was about to happen to me happened.
Now, I'm from Baltimore, and like the way she explained the stuff, pretty much like the school I went to had gangs in the school, like, and in my experience, it was girls in the gang too, a lot. But I was like in middle school, and the thing is, it was so many like banks and like people banging folks in the face, and then other people like banking them. Like, it was just too much going on up there. So I believe like her story. Like, you got to get down, because if you don't, people will literally walk and pick on you all the time.
To me, because it was never nothing. Like, it was never no real beef. Another thing that I need y'all to know, the bathroom is right here. The hallway, like you walk to class, the school police officer is right there. Now, when I tell y'all how long I know how long the situation was.
And one more thing, the school police officers will see stuff and mind their business, because they about scared themselves. And when I was in middle school, we had to wear clear book bags, and we had metal detectors in the city. Like, but them officers was probably like scared themselves.
Is because of the bells or the rings. It had like a ring that let you know that you had to go to class. It was a ring that let you know that you was late to class, and then it was like a ring that let you know that you couldn't come back in class unless you had a note. That last ring meant that you was 5 minutes late for class, and there was no reason for you to be late unless you was doing something with a teacher or something like that. So that's how I know how long the situation was. I told y'all she got her arm around my shoulder. I pushed the arm, but I never knew what was waiting for me. When I turned around, when I turn this way, the first thing I see is all of them. It's literally, no exaggeration, 8 or 9 of them. Literally. So when I see them, it really wasn't no talking or nothing. Like, that's another thing I'm gonna get them. Like, they got straight to the point. As soon as I see them, Bianca straight steals me. Boom. I'm fighting her back, but they just instantly, once she swung, everybody instantly just started banking me. Like, it was so bad. When I say they banked me so bad, like, it was the worst. Now, I got banked a lot in my life. That was the worst bank that I ever had in my life. Like, I'm telling y'all, they kicking me in my ribs, they kicking me in my back, they kicking me in my head, they throwing a trash can on me. Like, I had braids like this.
And all it is because of one statement that she made because this girl walking around bullying people. She just said like that couldn't be me. Like it would have been a problem. Like, and she was mad the rest of the time for that, but she didn't even like try to fight her own battle. She like banked her. Girl.
I'm telling y'all, they banked me for a whole 5 minutes because about time they was done banking me, that last bell was going off that was letting them know that you was already 5 minutes late for class. So I'm telling y'all, I fought for my life for 5 effing minutes. Another thing that made me mad was like, the police office is right there. Not that I'm a rat or nothing like that, because I don't even care how this make me sound. The police office is right there. Y'all don't hear them in there beating the hell out of me? Nobody gonna come help me? As boom, the last bell go off, they runs. I gets up. I had a blood clot in my eye, busted blood vessel, bald spots. My nose is bleeding. I got bruises all over me. My jaw is instantly swollen. I got a hickey right here. And now I'm walking out the bathroom, and the first person that I see is Officer Squidward. And the first thing that he
Now, Officer Squidward heard it all. I'm telling you, like, these police officers in the schools in the city be scared out of their mind. Like, they don't want to get banked either. Like, these kids are ridiculous. Like, he heard it. He heard it. I would not put it past him.
thing that he said out his mouth is, because I'm walking to leave out the school building now, the first thing that come out his mouth is, Miss Aiken, that's not the way to class. You think I'm going to class with my face like this? So I turns around and I'm mad. So I'm like, B, stop talking to me. I walk out and I leave. They instantly start calling my mother, let my mother know that I left school. My mother is calling me, asking me where am I at and why did I leave school. By the time I got to my mother and my mother saw my face, the first thing my mother was like, what the hell? And she instantly started crying when she saw my face. That's how bad they banked me. It was really that bad. Like, it was horrible.
I think like my parents knew how, well, I know my parents because they grew up in Baltimore. So I knew that my parents knew how bad it was, and like we wasn't going to get the proper like resources and education like we should, because so much stuff is going on. Like my mother and my father decided like we need better for them, because like imagine you walking in a house after you done got banked and looking bad, and your mama see you, that's the first thing she see is your face. Like that is heartbreaking for any mother.
Story time about how when I was in the 10th grade, I got locked up for attempt murder, 1st degree assault, 2nd degree assault, and a whole other record charges part 2. So like I was saying, my mother was calling my phone because she thought that I initially just walked out of school. She didn't understand what was going on. So as I walked through the door, she was like, what the fuck is, and she saw my face and she instantly just started crying. I don't know about y'all, but like once, I didn't cry the whole way. I didn't cry when I saw my face. I didn't cry walking home. But as soon as I saw my mother, I just instantly just started busting out crying, like in her arms, crying real bad. I was in pain too, so it was crazy. They did their big one on me. When I say their big one, I mean they did their big one. Like I had a blood clot in my eye, a busted blood vessel. So in this eye right here, anytime since then, anytime I ever fight like anything, if you hit me in my eye, I automatically just get a blood clot. I got a gash right here from them gashing my head. I had bald spots all over my head. My jaw was swollen. My jaw, I told y'all this was Thanksgiving break. I had bald spots on my head. I had a knot right here. They hit me with trash cans. I had like bruised ribs. Like they whipped my...
So she walked around half bald headed. Like, Lord.
Behind, I'm telling y'all. My mother is very... My mother don't even like fighting. Like she not confrontational at all. Like she'll rather talk it out before it even get there. But on the other hand, if it's already there and you done already did something to her kids, she is 1 to 1,000. Like she calling my brother. Mind y'all, I told y'all, my brother do not play about me. I don't care, male, female, don't matter. When it come down to me, my brother is plucking and going off. Like anybody know Jeffrey, Hefe, whatever y'all want to call him, about me, he going. About any of us, he's going. So I'm like, they just banked your sister, like they beat her up real bad. She calling my father, like, I think we need to take her to the hospital. My father like, no, we ain't taking her to the hospital, she good. Like, basically saying she gonna get back when she go back to school. So my mother never even informed the school what happened, but they knew what happened because it was all around everywhere. Like, now it's people at the school that has my number that's texting me, asking me my good and all this, but I'm not replying to nobody. Again, it's Thanksgiving, so my family see me, my family like hurt, like what's going on, this and that. I'm telling them the story. My mother was so mad because my mother was like, if you knew all this was going on this whole school year and last school year, why would you not tell me? But again, at the same time, I'm telling her like it never was that deep. She just kept saying, who was it? So when I said Lachelle, she was like Lachelle, and then my brothers and them, my cousin and them, like Lachelle, the Lachelle that she was, because I was bringing this girl Lachelle outside with me, like in the city, like she was really my friend. Plus she lived across the street from me, so I was like, I was going to her house, she was coming to my house, like they was all confused, including me, like what I did to you? Anyway, we already was coming up with the plan, like Monday when you go back to school, because this is like when you go back to school after the Thanksgiving break. When you go back to school, you know what's up, like you know what you need to be on. So I'm like, all right. I always had the same group of friends, me, Sharika, Marquin, the girl Cheryl. I don't think Marquin went with us this time. I think it was me. Out of the girls, it just was me, Sharika, and Cheryl. I'm telling them, they like, all right, yeah, whatever you want to do Monday, we with that. But again, like I said, I really don't hang with females, so if you know fighting me, just know what's coming with me. It's gonna be a bunch of ninjas. Like all my brothers, my cousins, my homeboys, we coming. So Monday come, I don't go to school. My mother like, we ready to go in the city and get everybody, because school's ready to get out. So we go in the city, we get everybody, we get in the van. The ride to the school was just like, it was just so quiet, but everybody like mad. Like again, my eye, you can still see the blood clot in my eye. At this time I got 2 black eyes, I got stitches right here, like you know, everybody just on that, like oh alright, like they did that, you know what's going on. So when we leave, we get to the school bell rang out, I instantly see Bianca, so I'm like, that she go right there. My mother like, I don't want you just to get her, I want you to get every last one of them that banked you. So we like, all right. As she's walking, here come her family and all them, they walking. Eventually everybody's getting gathered together, so we're following them the whole time in the car. So me, I'm getting mad because my mother is still telling me to wait for everybody, but it's like I don't even know who all in school today because I didn't go to school. So we get to a stop sign and it's like the school buses is coming this way and we coming this way, and it's a red light, and I'm like, I don't know where they're going, I can't see them past the buses. So I'm like, you know what, as before my mother even get a chance to park the car or pull the car over, I instantly hop out. When I hop out, everybody instantly hops out with me. I see Bianca, no talking, automatically pluck her, I cracks her, me and her get to fight, and I'm grabbing her hair, I'm uppercutting her. So as I'm uppercutting her, my homegirl is uppercutting her, we slings her on the ground. I really can't tell y'all like what I saw, because the only thing I saw was me and her fighting, but I can tell y'all what, as we get in the call, what everybody else is saying. I remember somebody saying, that's a girl, y'all can't do her like that. I remember my brother is plucked one girl so hard she hit the tree, boom, like her head straight hit the tree. Another girl tried to jump in, and so my homegirl Sharika grabs her, slings her on the ground. So Sharika's fighting the girl. Now me and Cheryl is on top of Bianca, because in my mind, Bianca, you the one who sparked it off, like you the reason why I got banked. So we packing her out, like we just stomping her. So I'm dragging her, but we stomping her. I remember my brother, no, I'm done fighting her. So no, somebody else plucked me. One of the other sisters plucked me. So I go over, I'm starting to pluck her. Cheryl was still on Bianca. So I'm plucking the other little girl. Me and her get to fighting. I remember I got her hair. My brother like, keep pulling her. I'ma pull her this way. You make sure you pull her that way, because she got braids in her head. So I'm like, yo, y'all gave me ball spots. So as I'm holding her, I'm like just grabbing her hair, like grabbing, I'm yanking it, like I'm telling y'all, my hands is letting go hair, grabbing some more hair, yanking hair, grabbing some more hair. But then in my head, I'm like, I still don't want her. I want this bitch Bianca. These line goes back to Bianca. Now I'm stomping Bianca again. Now this is the part that did make me I kind of felt sad, but I don't feel sad. Now that I think about it, at how old I am, it's like, it's her karma. As I'm kicking her, only thing that's in my mind that I'm remembering is them either stomping me, hit me with trash cans. I'm just having, like, I'm telling y'all, like, I blacked out, but I was having flashes of what they just did to me. I'm doing it like I'm just stomping her. So then I remember somebody grabbing me from like my stomach, like, chill, you geeking. And when I turns back in from me stomping her, she is just on the ground, like she just shaking, like she having a seizure. Then I like turns, like zones back in, and I see it, and I'm like, oh shit. And then I'm looking around, somebody is like, I feel like we just did too much, honestly, because it's like a group of people, they holding this other girl. There's somebody over there, like, because the girl that hit her head on the tree from my brother hit her, somebody got something over her face, like the get the blood. It's just like, oh my god, like maybe we just did too much. But we all runs to my mother's car. So we run to my mother's car, my mother S's off, drives in the city, we just dropping everybody off. But the ride back into the city is like, that's what they get. They used to banking people, so it's like, now y'all banked me, I banked y'all. I just banked y'all. Worst thing, but y'all banked me. I don't care. So we driving in the city, and we just talking about everything that's going on. That's how I'm telling y'all I was able to know certain stuff that everybody was doing because of what they was talking about when we driving in the city. I remember one of my brothers was like, one of the girls was like, I'm about to call the police. He said, I just snatched her phone, threw her phone on the ground. One of the girls spit on one of my other brothers, and I don't mean no harm, you spitting on somebody, you automatically should have known what was going on. So that was the reason why he hit her so hard. She hit the tree. My cousin said somebody else was trying to jump in the fight with me and the girl when I first plucked Bianca. So he said he grabbed her, and when he was grabbing her, she just was doing too much, so he just like slung her. And then that's when they banked the little brother. Well, they banked the brother, but it was Bianca's little brother. But we all in high school, they banked him. I don't know why they banked him, but they just banked him. So we drops everybody off, and my mother gets back in the car. So my mother like, what we gonna tell your father? Because we never told my father that we never told my father what we was going to do. My father knew that it was going to be some get back, but we just never told him what was going on. So I'm like, I don't know, you guys come up with a story to tell my father. I don't know. I goes home because I'm still like, it's still a lot going on. So now everybody is calling my phone from the school like, oh my god, they finally got their get back, that's what they get, this is that and third. But I'm not calling my phone, texting my phone and stuff like that. The only person that I didn't catch that wasn't there was Lachelle. So I'm telling my mother that. My mother like, it don't matter, like y'all did what y'all did, just leave it alone, Jazz. Like if they come back and they want to fight you, then you deal with it, but you don't go and initiate anything. So I'm like, all right. I goes to sleep, takes a nap. My mother knocks on
I was trying to figure out where the shell was at because baby, but
on my door. She was like, Jazz, I need you to come downstairs for a minute. So I'm like, all right. I come downstairs. It's hella police downstairs. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, we're here to arrest you. Arrest me for what? They said attempt murder. Put me in handcuffs. And then they said, oh, but we're here to arrest two people. Who you arresting? They locked my mother up too. Story time about how when I was in the 10th grade, I got locked up for attempt murder, 1st degree assault, 2nd degree assault, and a whole record charges, part 3. Hopefully I think I can put the rest of the story in here without having to do another part. I don't know. So they arrested me and my mother, and I was like still confused on why they was locking my mother up because she didn't have no parts of it. But they locked my mother up with conspiracy because they said my mother, they never knew that my mother drove us there. They just knew that my mother, we ran back to my mother's car, and the school bus person was the person who told them what kind of car we ran back into and the tags and everything like that. So that's how my mother got it. I'm crying because at this point, attempt murder, 1st degree assault, like it just didn't dawn on me, and they charged me as an adult. My first time ever being locked up, I was terrified. Like these not no little kid charges or like no charges that was though. I just couldn't stomach the charges. I don't care what nobody say. I just couldn't do it. I think the even worse part to that whole little situation of me getting locked up was that time was my mother got out on her own recon. Them bitches gave me a bail. So seeing my mother go home and me get like still there, like my mother broke down crying, I'm breaking down crying. She like, don't worry about it, you're about to get bailed out, you'll be home. So they bailed me out. I come home, we finally tell my father what actually happened. I got a lawyer or whatever, but that wasn't even that's not even icing on the cake. So I had to go back to the school building now. This is right after the whole situation happened. Okay, the girl was in the hospital. They said she was in a coma. I'm not sure if the coma part was true, but I do know that she did have a seizure. They said we did something. I don't really remember, but she was in the hospital for a very long time. I do remember that. I remember when we did come back to school, her family was there. I was there first. We was there first because my mother was already in the school telling them like, all right, they was trying to put me out of the school, but my mother like, explain to me how y'all put her out of the school, but when they just banked her, y'all not putting them out of the school, and they banked her inside of the school building where y'all like nobody took like helped her, nobody, she wasn't safe. I let my child come to school to be safe and learn, and she got banked and nobody did anything. That's not the first time they banked somebody up here. Y'all just keep letting them do the same thing over and over again. They don't have no consequences. Basically that's what my mother was saying. But in the beginning, like I told y'all, my mother was pregnant when I was in the 9th grade, so my mother has my little sister at the school with me now. My little sister is in the car seat, so my mother in the meeting, I'm sitting down in the like the office part, but I'm waiting to see what's going on with my mother. Her whole family walks in. I see them, they see me. A couple of them that we had just backed or whatever. I ain't paying them no mind because it was already up. If y'all gonna do something, y'all gonna do something. But at this time, my mother told me, like, after the conversation, my mother was like, they was already saying that they wasn't ready to put me out. They just was going to suspend me for a long time, but I wasn't going to be put out. I was going to be able to come back to school. But this little, her name was Asia. I don't know what made her feel like that was something smart for her to do, but I was already on that with y'all anyway. And now y'all still trying to, they already came to school, hair tied up, all that. Come on now. Okay, so I'm already saying that y'all want to fight. Everybody else is walking around my little sister. This goofy calls herself trying to step over my little sister. Like, what make you feel comfortable? Like, even still to this day, I really didn't. You tried it. So when she called herself trying to step over, before she can even get all the way over, I straight plucked her. You're not ready to step over my little sister. You're gonna walk around her. So I plucked her. Me and her get to fight in the what you call them. They banked me again. Trying to do that big one in the office or whatever, but my mother come out. So my mother like, I don't mean no harm. Like, it's certain people that make me go even more crazier. Like, I'm already not, I don't have all my screws right up here, so it's just certain people, like if I was to see somebody even trying to play with that's near, like that's I'm very overprotective. So me knowing that my mother is coming out now, and me knowing that they banking me, and my mother already getting involved, I just blacked out. Like, I just went off. Remember the school police breaking it up or whatever, because I got her on the back because she stepped over my little sister. That just was like, it still baffles me still to this day. So I remember the school police breaking it up, but then I remember seeing my mother and my mother going back and forth with somebody, one of the other little girls. They had a stapler. I took the stapler, I threw the stapler, and I just blacked out. Like, it was up. Like, you just not doing it. And the principal, her name was Miss Woodbrook. She was very cool. I remember her coming to me, and the police got, school police, Mrs. Squipper got me, but I remember her coming to me and she like, listen to me. Like, she grabbing my face, but I'm already like, I'm blacked out. However it went, my mother was like, Jazz, calm down, I'm ready to call your father. Anybody know me, I don't play about my father. I'm very scared of him. I straight cut it down, like, all right, I'm chilling out. She was like, I was gonna let you stay, but I can't let you stay here because y'all gonna be going at it all year. So they put me out to school. One of the little girls, they went and told the state that I attacked them, so I got rebooked again for another assault, and I also got rebooked for like violating whatever the guidelines of my bail was. I got violated for that. So now when I did come back, like, I was locked up for like, I think like 3-4 days, but when my lawyer came back, he was like, he had to get me on house arrest. That was the worst thing ever. Like, I just felt like that was so ghetto for me to be on house arrest. Like, it just was too much. Having a great lawyer works. It gets you a lot of far places. I remember my lawyer just was eating them up. Like, it just was real bad. And like, for them, like, it was so many people. Alicia came and was talking about when they assaulted her. Officer Squidward came and he did say that he saw me leaving out of the school building with all the marks on me and stuff like that. A lot of people were just talking, but this Bianca girl, Bianca, still to this day, Bianca, I honestly don't understand. She, you know how they give her like a victim statement or whatever? This girl said she was scared for her life. She has dreams about me every night. When she's seeing me is like triggering for her. She was like playing victim so bad, but it was like, If anything, I not me personally, I'm never scared of nobody, so that's not something I'm gonna say. But you started it with me. It never was no beef. I'm telling y'all, if now I can do story times a lot because I've been in a lot of stuff, and 9 times out of 10, some stuff I can tell y'all, I know exactly why me and this person was beefing. I do not understand what her reason was beefing with me for. I never understood, and even still with that, if you don't like me, you feel like because I am that, like I'm her. If you feel like that and you want to fight me, fight me. Y'all banked me. Y'all banked the hell out of me for no reason. So how is it now that I banked you back? You terrified for your life. You're so afraid of me. It just didn't make sense. Like, she played the victim role very well. Now granted, she was in the hospital. You should be scared of me. You should. But that's from you banking everybody else that y'all bank. Y'all used to banking people and just letting people get away. You're not banking me, and I already was saying that. I'm not from out here. You're not banking me and getting away with it. I know how to fight in real life. I literally know how to fight in real life, like real timing. Like, you're not banking me and getting away with it. It's just not happening. So I think my charges got dropped down. No, I don't think. My charges actually did get dropped down to a juvenile case. So we had to go back through the whole thing all over again, to testify and all that. And here she go again. This time I think she actually just wanted me to go to jail. Her grandmother came up there and spoke for her. She was like, my grandchild is too afraid to even get up here and talk because she don't understand what was all this for. My mother like, what you mean you don't understand what all this? Like, my mother was just getting mad. Like, y'all just saying anything now. Like, it's just not working. And then I remember, because my lawyer for the adult system couldn't be for the adult charge, he couldn't be the one for the juvenile charge, so I had another lawyer. And I remember the lawyer saying, like, yeah, we gonna make your mother seem like she unfit on the stand, but it's gonna be beneficial to you. And I'm like, no, I'm not with that. But she still called herself trying it at the court. So I remember my mother being on stand, and my lawyer is trying to make it seem like my mother, I just blacked out again, like lost it in the courtroom. Like, y'all not ready to make my mother feel like she's the unfit mother, not in front of me. You're not doing that. So I remember my mother like, calm down, this is what's best for you. It's nothing best for me for you to be trying to make it seem like my mother is unfit. At the end of the day, my mother didn't know what was going on because I didn't tell my mother. They banked me for no reason. That's just the answer. It's consequences between things that you do. You banked me, I banked you. It just so happened that I banked you better than what you banked me. And at the end of the day, I really don't think that I banked them. Only thing difference is she was in the hospital. I could have very much so been in the hospital. I just didn't go to the hospital. They whipped my ass the same way I whipped your ass. We're not doing that. But it just was a mess. I just thank God that I got out of that situation with just probation and I had to do a day in jail. I promise you I did, because she wanted me to go to jail so bad for whipping her ass after they just whipped my ass.
Yo, this story was extra crazy. Like, this is what I mean. It be bullies in school or in life, period. It just be these bullies that constantly pick on people until they find the right match. And in this story, karma don't come today, it don't come tomorrow, and it don't have a time limit. And it was up. It was time for y'all karma to be in effect. Y'all was banking people in school and probably banking people in your neighborhood, and you felt the balls to bank people because your family was at the same school you was. That doesn't give you the right to bank anybody. Go to school to learn. That's what y'all going to school for, is to go to school to learn. I don't blame this mother, because at the end of the day, she saw her daughter come in the house all effed up because y'all banked her. So her emotions and anger was high, because most of the time you go do the right thing and people still be scot-free and walking around banking people. At the end of the day, a whole bunch of people was banked by this family in the school, like being picked on, books being knocked out of people's hand, and they met their match. They banked the wrong person, and that person brung their family to fight back. Because I don't necessarily say that her family banked them. It was a fight between families. It wasn't no banking. It was a fight between families. Different concept. In school, she was by herself, and your family and you banked her. And to think that a person she considered her friend before would take her into the bathroom to be banked. I wish she was there too, because, like, girl, like, no. You want to be a fake friend, you can get it too. At the end of the day, we fight the messengers too, because y'all be all in it too. So this was unfortunate for her to get banked, didn't go to the hospital, got banked bad, only for her family to retaliate, and now her and her mother had to face consequences. But at the end of the day, that's what happens when, like, that's what happens when you do a crime. So they both face consequences. I just wish that the other parties would have that same consequence facing, just like her family. Like that, it just didn't seem fair to me. And I wish that the school would have reported them banking her in the first place, instead of waiting until she came up to the school to get her licks back. Like, that was just crazy. And you hear she don't play about her mother, and she definitely piped down when it comes to her father, like no questions asked. But I'm glad she was able to get out of this situation without going to the hospital, without getting like a lot of time, because she was young then. She was really young. To be in this situation and be treated like an adult when you're still a child is awful, a awful experience. I just pray that at the end of the day, like, both parties learn something out of this and it just don't happen again, even though now they're grown. But I'm just saying, for anybody that listens to this story, violence is not key. Stop bullying and picking on people if you are, because karma don't have no date time on it at all. So just be careful, because it could be your family members later on that's suffering this consequence. So you guys, comment down below what you think about this story. Don't forget to subscribe to join the family, and have a lovely day, you guys. Peace.